Hi, Andy.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. So
I'm I'm sorry about the technical issues that we just worked through.
yeah, so the listeners, maybe we should do it like a garage band tutorial for the listeners, but I don't know if I could pull that off because I don't understand what happened. So, listeners, Andy and I have been working on this for 37 minutes because Andy was doing stuff right, as far as I know. You were
I like to think
recording.
so. I got
Yeah,
a
you.
friggin' Yeti um, microphone that's sweet. It looks great. Not going to use it because I'm using the built-in, and it sounds kind of shitty because the Yeti is not going to work. But
Well, it's weird. If anybody can help with this, because like it was actually recording and showing a waveform, and then you'd stop and go back and play it, and it was silent, and so it was like not playing back the playback that it said it was recording. And you
I
want to hear
should
something?
have I should have worked on this last night. I plug in stuff in. I was downloading. We were supposed to start talking at 9 a.m. and I started downloading GarageBand and plugging in the mic at about 8:50. So that's my bad. But it's good to talk to you. This is our eighth podcast. Still don't have the technicals down, but whatever.
No,
Whatever.
we don't have it. Whatever. You
Whatever.
want to hear something funny about that, though? I've been getting emails and LinkedIn connections from people who are like offering their editing and recording services because I
Yeah.
complain. I guess because I complain about it so much on the podcast.
You should take them up on it.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, you're a creative. You don't want someone else to do your editing for you. I mean, like that's kind of like the thing I have to do. I think is
Well, that's
edit.
true.
But
That's true.
the production part of it. What are they going to do? Come over to my house on a winter morning and sit here with us and figure this stuff out? We've figured it out. Listeners are obviously hearing this. We figured it out. We got it figured
Yeah.
out.
Let's hope if I send you the correct audio. Well, I'm sure this will be fine. Yeah.
What is that noise that I keep hearing?
Oh, that's probably my headphones.
Okay.
But I'll not. I'll just stop moving. I won't move at all during this talk we have here.
Right. And if it goes silent, that's just you passing out. That's fine. I can handle it.
So what's up?
So, what's up with you? So you've been working. Okay. So before we start, I want to, if the listeners haven't already gone on board the toast train, and not the hater train, the
No.
toast train. Toast 2, Feel the Burn, came out recently, and I just want to get your.
After Toast 2 after the burn. Let's get the
Thank you,
title right.
thank you for correcting me.
Of course.
Toast 2 after the burn. So, are you happy with the response? Have you gotten some views on it?
Yeah, it's good so far. It got picked up as a Vimeo staff pick, which is good.
Yeah, I saw
And
that. That's cool.
yeah, so that boosted some views. I think yeah, it's going good. People like it, and I like it. I'm happy with how it turned out, and it was fun to make. And I got to get my dad in there and my son in there, and
It's
so
awesome.
yeah, no, it was
So,
cool.
I have questions about the production of it. So,
Please,
do you have a script, or do you
yeah.
have is it an improvisational sort of here's what I want to cover in this shot?
Yeah, well, I think we should back up a little bit because there are probably several people that are listening that don't know what the hell we're talking about. So let's maybe provide some context, which is typically the host's job to do, but I'll do it. I'll do it for you. So the toast,
I'm laughing. I'm laughing on the inside.
the original thing was called the Maker, and I saw some really obnoxious maker videos that kind of took themselves way too seriously. There was one from Stumptown Coffee in Portland that was 9 minutes long, and it was all about coffee. And it was just, I mean, they make great coffee and they're a great business and all that, but it was 9 minutes, and it was just like so precious and so serious. And then you just start seeing so many of these videos, and they all have sort of this very similar qualities. It's the cadence of how the VO goes. There's a
Hmm.
lot of you know um, moving portrait shots, serious, looking straight into the camera. There's just over explanation of backstory. There's a lot of panning across product and whatever. There's just a ton of things that they all use, um, and I told this probably last podcast or whenever we talked about the first one, but the original one, that this guy was came to our agency when I worked at an agency, and he just showed off his reel, and he was a DP here in Seattle, and he's just a really good guy, and he's showing his reel and providing muffins and all that, and people just are there for the muffins and they leave, and
Right.
I kept talking to the guy, and I just said, I was just talking to him, and he said, well, if you ever have any even side projects you want to do, let's do those. And I said, well, I do kind of have a side project that I kind of want to make fun of these certain types of videos or certain types of filmmaking. But I think it kind of makes fun of a little bit what you do. And he said, well, let me hear the idea. And I told him about, we should do a maker video, a craft video about something really stupid, like making toast. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm ready to make fun of what what I do. Let's
Oh,
do
that's
it.
great. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
So we made that one, and that was fun. But and then after, and that got some good reception. That got a staff pick, and then I got a fair amount of views too. And after, then I had the thirst for more, and I told Patrick, I was like, let's make another one. And he's like, yeah, what should we do this time? And I told him, well, we should just do a sequel called Toast 2. He's like, well, can we do something not toast related possibly? I'm like, no, we got to double down. And so but he got busy. He wanted to do it. He was down, but he just kind of got too busy. And then um, my friend Matt Sklar, who's a director in LA, I worked with him a little bit, and he was like, let's do it. And so finally he got a DP friend of his that's really great to come up here, and they came up to Seattle over a weekend, um, and just we shot it over a day, and
A
so
day. A day?
yeah, a day. I think they shot some other stuff on Sunday, but we shot all of our stuff on
Whoa.
Saturday. Yeah,
Wow. So, what was his background? Was he in advertising and to do commercial shoots, or was he always been a director? What's Matt's story?
he's a commercial director.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got a great reel. He does beautiful work, and he's really cool, and he's funny. And I think what I've found over the years of trying to make comedy is like my main focus. And to make comedy, you need funny people can make funny things.
Right.
Because I've tried to make comedy with people they're like, oh, you're kind of talking to them on the set, and they're not funny, and you're
Hmm.
like, oh,
Painful.
this is not going to work out.
Yeah. Well, so I watched Toast 2 after the burn again this morning. First of all, can't get enough of it. It's just like it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculously
So
like
stupid.
the tone is like so good, and like the second time I actually missed a lot of stuff. And then something happened, and it auto played to Matt's next spot on Vimeo, and it was not funny. It was the Innkeeper. I don't know if you've seen his
Right.
Innkeeper
Yeah.
film, and it's similar, but like kind of sad, but whatever. So when we talked last time, you did mention a little bit about that. I also think we talked about how the genesis of it. I was wondering if the genesis of it came from I've got to parody these things, or the genesis from it came from like, oh, if they can do that, then I can do that for like something like Toast, and it's sort of somewhere
Right.
in between, somewhere in between. But we actually mentioned haters, that you're not legit till you get haters, and you had mentioned that
Right.
there were some people who there was some backlash because there were people who were craft people that thought you were kind of like insulting them, which to me is sort of like, come on,
That's
man.
amazing. Which mission accomplished.
Right.
I guess that happened. I'm sure that happened. I stopped reading any of the comments.
Good for you.
Like when the comments, I think Adweek put it on their Facebook feed, and when some of the negative stuff, there was a lot of positive stuff, but there was also negative stuff, and there's no point in even reading it. It's
But without
like,
the haters, you don't have that whole section in the
yeah,
sequel about the haters, which was the funniest part.
yeah,
So, all right. So, I'm trying to get a sense. This is also I'm trying to be respectful of the listeners as well, because clearly you're not on the podcast because you did this. You're on here because, well, number one, we're friends, but number two, I mean, you're an advertising writer. Are you still staying busy freelancing? Because I think the last time we talked, there's a lot of work coming in, and I'm just wondering how the career 12 years after school is starting to take shape. Talk a little bit about like the kind of things you're working on that are advertising related.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm still freelance. I took a job at Mechanism for a while, for about a year. I lasted a year there, and it's a great place, but it just wasn't. They opened a Seattle office, and I wanted to do kind of some of the crazy Mechanism work that they did in San Francisco, and it just, I think it's going to take a while before they get that up and running in
Mm-hmm.
Seattle. And so I just, I mean, freelance is kind of, I think I'm made for the freelance lifestyle, because you can go to a bunch of different places, hang out with a bunch of different people, do different work, kind of make your own schedule. And if you can get enough work, it can be pretty great. And then when you're not getting the work, if you can enjoy that time and do other things,
Right.
because I want to obviously do other things like make videos about the craft of toast,
Right.
um, then great. And so I think it really is. I mean, some people really thrive in an agency and can stay there for a while and build something, and that's great for them. But it's not for me. You get
Right.
you go to some of these all staff meetings, and some people love it and eat it up, and I kind of get the heebie-jeebies a little bit at those. So
Right.
yeah,
So I think that's really interesting, and I think it's an important thing for people to hear too. That like you can go into this career and do what you want to do. Meaning, when I think of you as a professional, I think of you strictly in the professional context. I think of you as the guy that loves the work part of it and pretty much nothing else. And
yes,
and like the beautiful thing about being a freelancer, which has a double-edged sword, is that you are really hired to do the work. That's the point. And there's no other secondary or tertiary
yes,
responsibilities or obligations or anything. Now, that limits a little bit sort of you're not really going to end up being able to make the bigger decisions or deciding what kind of campaigns sells or what kind of accounts that you're going to work on, but you do get to decide where you're going to work. But
yes,
I've asked these questions to creative directors on the podcast, like why is it a good thing to get promoted away from doing the work? And it's because they want to see it at that literal and figurative table, making bigger decisions for the future of the agency. And I just feel like I'm kind of with you in that, like, it pulls you away a little bit from. I hate to say it's like a dopamine or adrenaline rush of actually doing the work, but like the most satisfying part of it is making things.
yeah,
I guess you could change your frame of mind. Yeah, making something by making an agency and providing and all that. But like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I,
So
I
for
just
me,
don't want to be at that table necessarily. I think some people are great at being at that table and talking the talk and working through things via meetings. And some people are amazing at that, and some people love the thrill of pitching ideas to clients, and that's their kind of main focus, and then giving feedback on work. But it's just not. And I had earlier to mid career, I had a lot of pressure put a lot of pressure on myself. Like, well, I guess I got to go on the track of like ACD and then CD and then, but then I kind of let myself off the hook on that a little bit and said, well, what is it really that I like about the career? And then started to realize that I could kind of shape my career and do what I like to do. And there's a way to just not, if there's stuff that I don't like about it, that there's a way, to not do that. And
Right.
I mean, and it's not to say that I hate all meetings, because that's not true. I mean, as a freelancer, you have to be in a fair amount of meetings, a lot of internal, and I like internal creative meetings. I like presenting work and making people laugh and having fun with it. But, there can be some, at times, adversarial relationships with clients. And I just don't like that whole vibe. It gives me like I said, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I don't like having the heebie-jeebies. And I maybe have talked about this before on a podcast, but I really feel like the true gauge of if you enjoy your job or not is Sunday night and Sunday afternoon. And I've been in jobs where that Sunday afternoon creep starts happening around 3 o'clock, and you're like, oh man, I gotta do this. This is gonna suck. This part, I worry about this, and then by the Sunday night, you're dreading it, and that's bad. And if that's happening to you, maybe you're not in the right spot. So I think freelance, just finally, I am focused on being a freelancer, and enjoying that, doing the work. There's downside too. I mean, you present your work, you write, you write your stuff, and then they take it and they go produce it. I mean, rarely does a freelancer go on production. And so if you're all about being on production, it's not to say that freelancers never go on production. I'm sure you can get yourself into those jobs, but not in Seattle. If you're living in LA and you're a freelancer, I'm sure you go on plenty of production, but not if you're in a small market like Seattle. And I honestly, I don't mind saying, all right, here it is, being a hired gun. Here it is. Go make it. Hopefully they make it good. And if they make it, if they do a good job of making it, please send me the file and I'll put it on my site.
Right. It's hard to justify the cost of sending a freelancer to production, I guess.
No,
And
no,
I can understand.
Yeah, you got to pay day rates and all that. So,
And
yeah.
I will say this also for the benefit of the listeners.
Please say
it's like
this.
You, it's going to sound ass-kissy. You're
Please.
very good.
Thank you.
And
That's what I was looking for.
Like one of the best headline writers I know, one of the best pure creative writers in advertising that I know. So, I mean, I think that you got to be really good to be. There's so many available freelancers that you've got to be delivering consistently. I don't think you have the option. I don't think that a typical person has the option of the choice sometimes to like say, I'm going to go out and be freelance, because I think you have to be kind of dominant to make it as a freelancer. I don't think you can just. Honestly, yes. You're up against a lot of choices. You're not the only one out there, and so I just don't.
That is nice of you. That's nice of you to say, and I'll always take that a compliment from you, because I know it's few and far between. But I must say about that, like there aren't as many good, competent writers out there as you may think, and I'm sure we have different experiences. Maybe there's more in Atlanta, but just there are good writers out there, but some good writers aren't like great with people. Right. Or, I think you got to go in there with an attitude that's like, all right, let's do it. How can I help? What can we do? And not catch feelings and not create drama. Just do the work. Like I said, be a hired gun, and just like give them what they need to move forward. And people appreciate that. Like creative directors will bring you in knowing that there's not going to be any like drama whatsoever. And you'll deliver a bunch of ideas. You'll deliver stuff that makes sense. That's a key. Things that make sense. That it's amazing how many times. I mean, I come across ideas that they're just sort of so wishy-washy, and they just are kind of thoughts and kind of creative. And what about this? And what about this? And it's like, yeah, but what would the output be for that? What is the idea? Right. And so I think that's part of it. It's not like, I mean, I love writing headlines, and we say headlines, and we've been saying it for years, and print has died or whatever,
Sure.
but
Well,
it
it's
doesn't
post or
matter.
whatever it is, right?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. You're always writing lines. You're always writing some of the same things. You have to write. You have to be good at writing quick, punchy things. You have to be good at writing like idea synopses,
Yep.
synopsis, yeah, and you have to be good at saying synopses and knowing if it's synopses or synopsises.
Yes, you do.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's a key to the freelance game. Don't catch feelings. Be good.
Right. I'm curious about the freelance game. So, where do you work? And how often are you in offices? And do you work for agencies outside of the Seattle area? Are you set up at home? Like, what is it? What does a typical project look like from a practical perspective?
So what helps me is I have an ongoing client called Cheerwine, and I do that through a small agency in Charleston called the Paget Smith Project,
Yep.
and that is a John Paget's a guy that I worked with when I was in Atlanta, and worked on Cheerwine for a little bit when I was at the Hauser Group in Atlanta that's now defunct.
Hmm. So,
And
how
then
often do you get to Charleston, or how often do you interface with the client?
I get out there uh, three or four times a year, I'd say.
Okay, cool.
So that's fun, and they're nice people, and they want to do good things, and that's kind of the business model that Paget Smith Project wanted to do. They just wanted to work with nice people and have fun and enjoy what we do. So that was cool. That's good, and that
Great.
helps to have an ongoing. I mean, that really helps to have an ongoing
No, it's huge.
client. That yeah. So yeah, and then just picking up other projects wherever I can. Yeah.
Cool. So on the last conversation, you said you got to try stuff. You just got to try make things and don't worry about it. And I'm
Right.
curious if you made anything that sucked that you thought
Yeah.
was terrible.
Of course.
What like what? Talk about
Well,
one of those.
I made one thing called Battle Farts Gaslactica, and that was just like Battlestar Get Galactica, but with a lot of fart noises. So that was
Mm.
bad. And then I made another video called
Wait, was that in your 30s?
yeah, of course, yeah. And then I made something called um, Mannheim. Mannheim. It's like get Mannheim steamrolled, and so I
Yeah.
dressed up like an elf kind of thing, and I had on a boombox Mannheim Steamroller music, which is just classic Christmas music that's so good and so pervasive that it's annoying. And I've just kind of ran up to people and like played the music, and it was just weird. It was like I think it was a good idea, and if you had good production behind it, it could work. But it was, and I thought it was funny. Like it doesn't matter. I was glad that I made it and put it out
Right,
there. And it was
right.
just like it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. You have to try
Well,
things
that's
that you think are right,
mm,
and then we did another video that was I was so sick of. There's so many goddamn videos of celebrities telling you how to think and doing it as a montage in a white psych room, and they just like they repeat. It's that cadence of like repeating, like today more than ever, today more than
right,
ever,
right.
today. You cut to them and telling you that you should vote or whatever it is. And so we made a parody of that, and it was okay. I thought it was just okay. Like you set out to do one thing, and then the output is sometimes not what was in your
Right.
head. And I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't. I don't think we went far enough. I think it was just like we should have gotten weirder with it. we should have messed with it more. And I
Right.
don't know. It was just
Totally worth doing though, because now you're saying these things.
you learn
Right.
every time you do something. You learn so much more than reading a book. If you go out and do something and you got to just like, if it doesn't work out and people don't love it, screw it. Make another thing.
Right. And one thing you probably learned was that your instinct was to dial it up, but in the moment you're like, no, we got to do it this way. And now you know, yes, we should have dialed it up. We should have been weirder.
Yes.
Sometimes the learning is like about yourself and your own decision process, I think.
Right. Right. And then when you don't have a lot of money to make something, you have to be creative. And like, I mean, I think good production makes up for a lot. And with ideas, like you'll see some amazing TV spot that is not that great of an idea, but it's produced so well, and it's just like glossy and slick and has the right actors, and it's like, oh, that's great. I mean, you don't even realize that it's not much of an idea. It's just fantastic.
That's like, very, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I'm going to see if you know this, because
quiz.
You either are or you are on TV a toast expert.
Yes.
Did you know that the color of a twist tie on a loaf of bread indicates the day that the bakery produced that batch of bread?
Oh, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know that much about toast. I was making a funny.
Right, but
I was doing a funny.
Right, a listener might be a toast person and thinking they're going to get some insight. So a Monday twist tie means it was made on. I mean, a Monday twist tie would be blue. Blue means it was made on Monday. Green is Tuesday. If your twist tie is red, it was baked on Thursday. Friday is white, and yellow is Saturday.
Man, that's awesome! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm going to look out for that.
I bet your dad and your son knew it. And so because I mean their game may be up.
It's elevated.
Elevated.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about this too. So like, just because I do this before I record conversations, and it's not like I need to do research on Andy Corbett, for God's sake.
No.
But why is there no reference to toast or your web videos on your LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn's sort of the thing people go to now. It's like your first point of contact in the real world.
Okay.
Do you try to keep them separate?
No, I don't. I have the first one on my portfolio site.
On your new website.
I have not updated my site in a while. My old website, like if you would Google me, which I do all the time, it points to the old one, and that's confusing. And so I took that one down. I just haven't updated it, and I've been getting enough work where I haven't really felt the need to do that. Also LinkedIn is weird for me, because like you go to LinkedIn, and you ever scroll through your LinkedIn feed and just stop and go, what the fuck am I doing right now? It takes off just minutes and minutes of your life that you can never get back. And I don't know. I don't know. LinkedIn.
So you're taking a position on LinkedIn. You're taking a position.
Yeah, that's my hot take of the podcast. Is LinkedIn is weird, but it's effective too. I mean, it's helped me get work. So I shouldn't shit on LinkedIn because
no. Well, I don't think they fucking listen or give a shit what you think.
Yeah, they love your podcast, but no, maybe I should. I got to get better. I'll get more buttoned up.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're right. No. Good.
I was just curious. I was just curious if you're like kind of like sort of partitioning off the parts of yourself, but you're not, because your website
not at
has
all.
Ad work, web films, and hijinks. Right.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's why I try to do these other things. One is because I want to try to, I want to get better at comedy, and I want to try to like do funny things and not miss and get some hits.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's number one.
Hits.
Number two, what's that?
Hits.
Yeah. Instead of meaning based, not like hits, like a hit. I'm talking about like
not like a hit
instead
record.
of a swinging it, not a hit record.
You're talking about views.
Like no. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just not swinging, a huge swing and a miss where you swing, miss, and fall down. So I want to get a couple singles, a couple
Okay.
doubles, and
Yep.
maybe a homer or two. That's all I'm looking for. But also when you're a freelancer, you, like we talked about, you don't produce as much. And so you need to be creative about how you populate your book and how you keep things fresh. And I mean, as a freelancer, you should be able to get a book piece in advertising at least once a year. If you get one a year, your book keeps staying fresh, and that's all good.
Yep.
But I think that people want more than just ads. I think people get excited when they say, "Oh, this guy does other stuff too. Oh, he's a go-getter. This guy's got something going on." That's what I'm going for. So, I think it's exciting to, like, you check out a portfolio and you see good work, but then you see extra things that aren't necessarily concert posters, like a lot of people do.
Right.
And yeah, so that's the main reason, and it's just fun. It's fun, man, because there's not a creative director. I'm the creative director. There's no one really. The people that you're working with are your creative directors, and you're just coming together, try to make the best thing and run things by each other, and you're not pushing a product, and sort of by doing that, the product that you really are pushing is yourself. And
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it's great. No, my hot take, my favorite thing you said so far in this conversation was it doesn't matter.
No.
You said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just make this stupid thing, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't matter if it's bad. It doesn't matter if the only thing that matters is that it gets done somehow.
Well, and it does matter that you learn from it, and you are able to look at something and see why. Like, don't be delusional. Like, be very honest with yourself. Look at it and just say. You can't just say, "Well, people didn't get it. People didn't get me. That's why it didn't do as well." Whatever your measure of success is, but it's like, you look at things with a critical eye, step back a little bit and say, "Well, I kind of fumbled that part. That part didn't work. That's not funny. I think the idea is there, but we didn't execute the idea." Or just try to self-analyze a little bit after you make something, because if you don't do that, you just keep making the same shit. It's not going to work out.
Right.
But you try to do it better each time. And then, I mean, I'm going to try to make something else that maybe is not toast related this year in 2019. And I'm just going to do it. And hopefully it'll be good, but and also varying degrees of production value. I think, like, it's important to make things that are super cheap and you just put it out there, and it's like, maybe it doesn't go gangbusters, but it's something that you made and you got better. Every time you make something, you get better. And then like, invest in yourself. And I mean, this toast 2 costs some money, and we actually got Matt Sklar is repped by a place called Strike Anywhere, and they were cool enough to give us some money to fly these guys up here from LA, and to rent. You got to rent equipment, you got to get lights, you got to get all that stuff to make it look credible. And so it costs a bit of money, but
it's a good investment for them. It's a good piece for them.
I think so. But like something like the production value of Toast 2, you can make for under, let's say $4,000.
Wow, that's great.
But so
I'll tell you where you should go mine. You should go mine this guy's pet peeves for some video ideas. It seems like those are all just treatments for like videos. Those are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a blog that I rarely post on, but I need to do more because there's so many pet peeves that I have. Like one that I want to write, but time is running out because Christmas is coming. But these commercials that are for luxury automobiles, and there's a big red bow, and the usually a white family, a rich white family comes popping out of their big ass house, and there's a huge red bow on like a Lexus,
Right.
and it just,
Or a GMC truck right now.
oh yeah, okay,
Yeah, big white couple come out of a big house, and he's bought like two trucks.
yeah,
I think they have
great,
bows on them. Yeah.
big ass bow. And I don't know if you get the bow at the dealership, but who buys a person a car for Christmas?
Right. That's a considered purchase. That's like a joint decision, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't just pop that on someone and be like, "Hey, I got you a GMC truck."
Right.
You
And
psyched?
that's similar to the email I got last night because as you're recording this, we're approaching Christmas, and it's just from Honda. It's like the Honda holiday specials. Okay, get the gift. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't tracking for me. Like I've never bought a $25,000 holiday
No,
gift for anybody.
no,
So weird.
it's weird. It's weird. I think
You know what?
Christmas is weird.
You know what? I didn't need a
Yeah.
car. I didn't need a car.
No,
But
we
it's
have a car.
Christmas. But it's Christmas now, and I didn't consider this, but maybe this is a perfect gift to buy for my wife. A new. She has a perfectly good car, but
Yeah.
maybe this is the time to do it. Just surprise
Yeah.
her and put a big bow on it.
The sweater last year didn't work. She was not happy. I could tell she was kind of unhappy all year because I got her a sweater that I thought she'd like. It was cashmere, but she looked disappointed when she unwrapped it, and she was like, well, I guess I got a sweater when
Right.
I really wanted a car.
Right. She was shaking it to see if there was a key in there, but I mean, I didn't see that. I did not understand that. But that's a perfect gift. It's a
Yeah,
perfect surprise.
So I have an idea for a screenplay. I'm gonna just throw it out there, and because I probably will not write it, but two Christmas related screenplays. One is Santa is so sick, like all these Christmas is crazy, and kids just expect to get just great shit and a lot of it, right? And a lot of like expensive toys, and so Christmas just gets out of control. All these kids are being little assholes, and they're all dicks to Santa, and Santa just says, you know what, fuck this, I'm done. All right. And so Santa goes to like Turks and Caicos, or he's like, I'm out, me and you, Mrs. Claus, we're done, we're shutting shit down. I don't know what the elves are gonna do, but they'll be fine. We're going down to the Bahamas, and we're just gonna chill it because kids do not appreciate this. It's not about happiness anymore. It's not about joy and family time. It's about getting a friggin' sweet Batman toy. And so he's out, right? And then he and his wife, Mrs. Claus, go down to the Bahamas, chill it. They're hanging out, they're loving it, they're happy. But the rest of the world goes dark. All right. So things like without Santa, things go bad, and things turn into like sort of a Dickensian dark, like in the book Hard Times. Like everything goes bad. There's coal factories popping up. Shit gets bad. And then some kid, maybe tracks Santa down in the Bahamas and is like, you got to come back. And Santa's like, nope, I'm loving it in the Bahamas. And then whatever happens from there. What do you think?
So you said the kids are dicks. The kids are dicks because they just expect stuff and they're asking for crazy stuff.
And Santa says, fuck it. That's the pitch.
So is the lesson that the kids actually needed all this stuff? That the bow on the car is actually what we need?
We're not talking about the car and the bow anymore. Okay,
No, but I'm saying, I'm just talking about blatant consumerism.
Yeah. It's they don't need this stuff. They need.
So they lost what it really
the true
means. They lost
spirit of Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that not tracking?
It is tracking. Yeah, I'm just getting my head around. I'm getting my head around the sort of core moral. Is it the core moral is that we actually need consumerism? We actually need gifts?
We don't.
The point is
that the point is we don't need this stuff. And
so he's just showing us how lost we are.
Yeah, and then we in the end, obviously, I thought this was obvious, but like in the end, the kid helps Santa come back to the North Pole, and people somehow, the kids realize like it's not about these toys, it's about the joy of the Christmas spirit and hanging out with your family and Christmas carols
And telling stories.
telling stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stories are more valuable. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I mean, it's abstract to me as a Jewish person.
Oh, right. That's my bad.
Right.
That's a little, there's a issue there.
No, it's fine. I'm an
Christmas
American.
isn't for everyone.
It's an American holiday like any other.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even see Christmas as a religious holiday that
It's
much
not
anymore.
really, no.
It doesn't feel like, yeah. So,
But it wasn't part of my childhood tradition either. But other than television and friends that celebrated it. But that's cool. No,
Yeah.
I like it.
cool. So someone should write that and then
Yeah,
let me creative direct it. Like, let me
There you
just
go.
give feedback so I don't
There
have
you
to write it.
There you go. Oh, shit.
Do you have to go?
No, this wasn't recording. None of
Are
it
you
was recording.
serious? Shut
No,
up.
I got it.
Dude, don't do that. Don't do that. There's so much gold in here.
All right, let's do this again soon. We're done.
Wait. Let me ask you about you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you wearing? Right? No, I'm just kidding. So how's everything going for you? How's the school?
Superb. Great. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your kids are
Like I have a daughter in college.
grown.
Yeah,
Grown-ass kids now. That's
college
amazing.
age daughter. Yep, and an 8th grader, almost 9th grade. Yeah, it's fun. Everything's
and the Atlanta Hufflepuffs little Quidditch team you got there won the Quidditch Open.
fun.
That's
That's
how you were
cute. That's
really
cute.
excited.
That's cute. You live in Seattle. You're not. Have you heard of the Sounders in Seattle? That's a big thing up there too. I think.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
They were good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, we have fun. Atlanta United's a lot of fun.
It seemed pretty amazing. Like a big deal there.
Yeah, they had 9 games of 72,000 plus at the stadium. It's pretty amazing.
That's crazy. Why is it such a big deal in Atlanta?
I think that Atlanta's a huge city, and the sports teams are, a lot of transplants here that didn't grow up rooting for Atlanta sports teams, and now this is a team that they can get behind, and and it's everybody. I mean, the crowd is all kinds of people, and it's just a bunch of people who moved here or whatever, and love soccer or just love the idea that there's a team that they can support from the beginning. So it's just been really, really, really fun, really fun. Like
great.
kind of a story, like a kind of a storybook situation. Second year they win a championship. It's kind of crazy.
It looked like that. And so, would you say the number one team in Atlanta is Atlanta United, or is it still the Falcons? Would it be
By
Falcons?
far. Oh God, no!
Really?
Atlanta United drew over 1 million fans this year. The Falcons
Nice.
didn't come close. I mean, the Falcons are struggling. They struggled a lot this year, so I'm not going to get too into that.
So it would be Atlanta United, then Falcons, then
Braves.
Hawks,
No, then Braves and then
Braves,
Hawks. Yeah,
Unbelievable. There were so many years that the Braves were so good, no one gave a shit.
right.
And the Braves are good again, and they probably still don't care.
Yeah, I was in New York when they were dominant. I was living in New York, unfortunately, because I grew up with a terrible, terrible Braves team. Terrible.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, and in the Mrs. Lisa is doing good. She's still a big Green Day fan.
Big Green Day fan. Yeah, I think this may be too irrelevant for the typical listener, but yeah, my wife is still into Green Day. Still plays electric guitar.
Cool.
Yeah, we have that in our house. Sure.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thanks for talking, man.
Oh, okay. We're done. Good talking
done
to you.
for this time.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hold on, but listeners, andycorbett.cargocollective.com. It's pretty easy. andycorbett.cargocollective.com. Send Andy. I think, is there an email link on there? I don't even see one.
I don't know. I got to look at that. There's got to be. There should be.
Yeah, there is under email. Yeah. AndrewJCorbett@gmail.com. Or you can send me an email at danspodcast@mac.com and all that stuff. And Facebook's going to have links to all this stuff. So facebook.com/DGMS podcast. I'll put links to up. I think pretty sure there's already a Toast 2 link up there on the podcast page, but I'll put the website up there as well. Thanks for talking, man. I hope you have a great holiday. I know
Thanks
listeners
a lot.
will hear
You too.
Listeners are going to hear this in 2019, but hope your holiday's great.
You too, buddy. It's good talking to you.
Talk to you later.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are
Well,
piping.
listeners, you're glad you
I
stuck
don't
around for
know the
that.
words.
We'll see you.
The pipes are piping. Oh, Danny boy.